Hi children, in this video we will see a very famous poem written by Ruskin titled Listen. Ruskin is a very famous Indian writer who made greater contribution in children's literature. He is a nature poet, which means he loved nature very much, and this poem titled Listen is also about nature. It's a very short and beautiful poem, and in this poem the poet imagines that everything in nature has its own sound. Everything in nature, like the wind, the grass, the little things like dewdrops, pebbles, everything in nature has got its own sound. But we don't often hear them. We often miss these little sounds. Why? Because we are not listening to them, we are not paying attention to them, we are always busy in our own life, we don't spend much time in nature, so we always miss these little sounds in nature. So the poet asks the reader to spend some time in nature, to observe the little things in nature and also try to listen their little voices and thus enjoy the beauty of nature. In the poem we can see that the poet is making a list of sounds that can be heard in nature. And let's see which are the sounds that we should listen to in nature. Let's start with the first stanza. Listen to the night wind in the trees. Listen to the summer grass singing. Listen to the time that's tripping by and the dawn dew falling. Listen to the night wind in the trees. So the poet here makes a list of sounds that can be heard in nature, the list of sounds that we should listen to in nature. He says that we should listen to the sound of night wind in the trees. Night wind means the wind that blows during the night time, and in the trees, the wind that is passing through the trees, that is blowing between the trees. So this is the first sound that we should listen to in nature. The night wind in the trees, the night wind that is passing through the trees, the night wind that is blowing between the trees. Listen to the summer grass singing. How do a summer grass sing? What is the sound made by a grass? It's like a murmuring sound. When the grass strike together in wind, it makes a sound, and this sound is imagined as their singing by the poet. So we should also listen to the singing sound of the summer grass. The summer grass is singing a song, and we should listen to their song. We should listen to their singing. Then listen to the time that is tripping by. Tripping means moving quickly or moving very fastly. We know that time is something that is moving very quickly, that is moving very fastly. And the poet imagines that even time has got its own sound. We should listen to the sound of time. Even the tripping by, even the fastly moving, the quickly moving, time has got its own sound. So we should listen to the sound of time. And the dawn dew falling. Dawn is a time just before the sunrise. It's a time when the light appear in sky for the first time. It's a time just before the sunrise, and dew means tiny drops of water that appear on the surface. So we should listen to the dawn dew falling. The dewdrops, when it fall during the dawn time before the sunrise, it makes a minute sound, and we should also listen to this little sound of dewdrops. So the poet says that these are the little sounds that we should listen in nature. The sound of the night wind that is passing through the trees, the singing of the summer grass, the sound of the time that is tripping by, that is moving quickly or fastly, and the sound of the dew that is falling during the dawn. Coming to the second stanza. Listen to the moon as it climbs the sky. Listen to the pebbles humming. Listen to the mist in the trembling leaves and the silence calling. And again the poet continues listing the sounds that we should listen in nature, but here the poet talks about a number of things that does not have any sound in real life. But the poet simply imagines that these things have got some kind of sounds. He says that listen to the moon as it climbs the sky. He is asking us to listen to the sound of moon as it climbs the sky, means as it moves in the sky. Listen to the pebbles humming. He is again asking us to listen to the sound of pebbles. Pebbles are small stones that is usually seen in rivers. They are smooth and round in shape. Humming is a low and steady sound. So we should listen to the humming of pebbles, humming of stones, the sound made by the stones. Again the poet says that we should listen to the mist in the trembling leaves. Trembling means shaking or moving. Mist is a light cloud that stays close to the ground. So we should also listen to the mist in the trembling leaves, the mist in the shaking leaves, the sound of mist in the leaves. And finally, we should also listen to the silence. We know that silence is something that means the absence of sound. But the poet imagines that even silence has its own sound. If you are paying closer attention to it, if you are trying to listen to it, we can hear it is calling our name. It is calling us. The poet imagines that all these things like the moon, the pebbles, the mist, the silence, everything has got its own sound. And if we are paying closer attention to all these things, we can hear their sounds. We can listen to their sounds. So the whole poem is about nature, and we have got a nature poet, Ruskin born. He is a highly imaginative person. He imagines that everything in nature has its own sound, but we don't often hear them because we are not paying closer attention to these little things in nature. So he is asking us, he is requesting us, the readers, to spend some time in nature and pay closer attention to the little things in nature, and also listen to the little sounds from nature. And he is making a list of sounds that we can hear in nature, like the sound of night wind, the singing sound of summer grass, the sound of time that is tripping by, then the sound of dawn dew falling, sound of moon, sound of pebbles, sound of mist, and finally the sound of silence.